Hello, everyone. I'm on a roll, guys. I'm on a roll. This question has been asked by Amazon, Microsoft, and Facebook, and it's actually related to a previous Leetcode question that I have done, which is basically, I think this question is called "What minimum add to make parentheses valid?" So if you've not seen that one, guys, please move over to that one. But I think without even seeing that one, I will thoroughly explain this question which we have here, which is called the minimum number of swaps to make this you make the string balance, right? So basically, you have been given a string, right? And in your string, you want it to be balanced in that you want the closing braces to be equal to the opening. Sorry, the number of opening braces should be equal to the number of closing braces, and that every opening brace should be followed with what a closing brace, right? So if it's not followed in that way, right, then we want to make certain swaps. So you guys, you get it. So the gist of the problem is that are we able to find the number of pairs of um, pairs of braces that are out of whack, right? You can see from the first example, right, we have the first opening brace and the last brace. Now, if they were swapped, right, then we will have this result. So we want to find those which are out of whack, right? So basically, we want to know the number of those which are mismatched, basically, right? And then because we are dealing with pairs, right? So every pairs of swaps, basically, right? So every swap we are essentially changing two things. So in the previous question where we're looking at the number, and you don't have to avoid that one, but basically when we look at the number of elements that are out of whack, right? What we want to do is to get what we want to do is to get the basically in this question we want to get the right elements, right? So or basically the closing braces that have no opening brace. So if we know that a closing brace has no corresponding opening braces, right? What we want to do then is to make those swaps, right? We make it a swap with the opening brace. We are guaranteed by the question to have like an equal number of what opening and closing braces, right? So all we have to do is make the swaps basically. So I think maybe going on the whiteboard might be better. Right. So basically we are on the whiteboard and you can see like I previously explained this one, right? If we swap the first element and the last element, or the first and last brace in S for the first example, right? Then we'll have this, right? So question already shows you that. So basically, how do we know that we just need one swap, right? So initially it is like this, right? So what I want to do, as I was previously saying, is to get because we are dealing with pairs and we know it will be in pairs, right? What we want to do is mainly focus on the mismatches that are coming from the the closed braces, right? So let's say we encounter a closed brace with no preceding opening brace, which we have here. Right? What we want to do is what initially I'll keep a variable, we'll call it right. Right will keep it and have a value of one, basically. And then come here, we increase our left while we have a different variable for the opening braces, right? So left, I'll increase it by one. I see um, basically another opening brace, right? So another closing brace, and I ask myself, is my left is greater than zero? If it is, right, then I have an opening brace that can be counteracted. So what I want to do is then to decrease the one by what one, so it becomes zero, right? So we only increase our right if we haven't seen any preceding, or we don't have any you know opening braces left, right? So that is if our left is equal to zero, then we will increase our right. And so you see, we come here again, and then we have what our left equals to one. But basically, the question is guaranteeing us that we'll have like an equal number of mismatches, right? So what we can do is that we can use the right or we can use the left, whichever one I want, right? I will choose the right, for example, and say, okay, I have a number of right mismatches, right? So right is equal to our mismatches, and then we are going to divide because we are dealing with pairs, right? We're going to divide by two. But just to make it better, right? We have what this is the formula basically. We have mismatch plus one over two. And this kind of rounds off, right? Because we are dealing in pairs. So basically mismatch plus one is equal to over two is going to be the number of swaps that we need to make, right? So basically, question is how do we increase our left and right, and I've already explained that. And basically, left or right the like left is going to be equal to right, and then your right is also going to be equal to mismatch. So basically, left is also equal to your mismatch, right? So once you get your number of mismatches plus one and divide that by two, it will round off. So basically, here it rounds off, right? We have one mismatch, right? Well, we have one let's say a right, for example. So one plus one divided by two, right? Because we are dealing in pairs. So it's going to give us what one mismatch. And see here we have what one, two, three. Basically three opening braces, right? So closing braces. So by now our right is equal to what three, and then our closing braces basically. So that is what left. Sorry, our opening braces is also going to be three. So I can choose any of them basically because they are equal, right? So three plus one divided by two is giving us the minimum number of stars, which is what four divided by two, which is two, guys. And so basically, that's the formula. Once you're able to derive the formula, I think that's like very that's maybe the core of the problem, basically. And without like wasting any much time, let's just get into the code, right? So we keep a variable for our left, right, and we keep another variable for our right, and then I keep basically a car array. I'll call it s dot to car array, and this is basically what we are going to loop through, right? So I need a variable index to loop. You can use a for loop. I want to use a while loop here, right? So dot length, and then how to get the current character that we are working on, right? So C is going to be R of what index, R of index, and if C is equal to what opening brace, right? If it's equal to our opening brace, fine, then I increase our left, right? Else, that means it's equal to our closing brace. What we want to do is now check if our left is greater than zero. If it is, it means we have some opening braces that do not have yet and the closing brace to counteract them. So we can decrease our left by one and say, okay, hi, I found one element to counteract that. Else, we increase our right? So by doing this, when we are done, we just want to increase our index, and basically mismatch is going to be equal, right? And I want to keep, I'll say it mismatch. It is equal to what our left or our right, basically, right? It's also equal to right. Basically, left and right are going to be equal, as I previously said. Now the formula is what we want to return what's mismatch, right? Plus 1 divided by 2. That's the number of squares. Note that the divided by 2 and the plus 1, we are doing this because we are working in pairs, right? Right? Because when we swap, we swap two elements, and yeah, like you are doing it in pairs basically. So passes the first three test cases, and beats 97% of Java users. Other people use stacks, but I think you can use basically you can make your reduce your space complexity, right, to using left and right variables, and then go on from there. This is O of n runtime, right? We touch every element in string s. Shouldn't be that hard to grasp if you go back on the whiteboard and try doing it yourself. So I hope you guys, enjoy this one. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.